Hey, we're back.
Oh, well, just go past. Hi.
With
Part 3.
inferior megapixels, but hey, it's not as good quality, but hey, it's closer. Hey, you can actually see Sister What's Her Face in here now. Location. All right, so
her name is Fun Time Vlog for you. Thank you.
So what were you saying? Your thought. You were saying about Tony and.
Oh, I was saying I feel like
Cap.
something's gonna happen where Tony, also known as Iron Man, is finally gonna like sacrifice himself for the greater good, because that's the whole thing. Their whole dispute is that Captain America feels like Iron Man is just selfish and he only does stuff when it benefits him. So I feel like he's finally gonna just sacrifice himself, and that's how he passes away. Then Cap's gonna finally be like, okay, I respect you now. And then we've already had this conversation of what I feel like Cap's gonna say before he dies. Whereas we've constantly said this, where I feel like he's gonna be fighting Thanos, and then he's gonna live longer than Thanos expected. He's gonna be like, "Who are you?" And he's gonna be like, "I'm just a boy from Brooklyn, but I can do this all day." And then they go share a few more hits, and then he's gonna get killed somehow, somewhere there. He's probably gonna like slip up because he's gonna see Bucky or something gonna happen. I don't know. Then he's gonna get killed, and then that's how I see that. There's something else I wanted to say. Oh, I feel like the Vision Scarlet Witch thing. I feel like that's gonna start and end really quickly, all in the same movie.
Yeah, I kind of think so.
I feel like they're gonna get together while he's Vision, and then when Thanos takes the Infinity Stone, because he has to. I feel like that's just gonna shift something, and they're not gonna be together. I don't know why. I just feel that in my bones. It's just how that is. So, I already know Drax is probably gonna die. That's just the thing. You?
So, well, yeah, let's just jump right in there, because that's kind of like the question that's been happening. I would say, they started shooting this movie in January of 2017. Yeah, and they shot these back to back, Avengers, Infinity War and Part 4 that's coming out next year. So basically, the minute they start shooting it, we all, and again, knowing
a year is too long. Sorry.
And knowing that Thanos is coming to get stones, they kind of, the directors and producers and everybody has teased that this is like the end. They're closing the chapter on everything that's happened from the first Iron Man all the way up to now. So when you start saying stuff like that, you're expecting people to die. So obviously, that's always the big question, like you said, the elephant in the room. Who's gonna die? This is how I started. And again, I wrote this a long time ago. What I started with was, I said, well, I'm gonna make a list of people who I think are safe. Because it's like the idea is like, okay, well, you got people whose contracts are about to end, first of all. So that basically means that
I said all of those in my head.
If you're not familiar with, well, actually, one of these changed, but if you're not familiar with, actors, basically, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, those three dudes are basically, as far as I know, they're done.
Dead.
Like they're well, I'm saying their contracts.
Yeah, they've already mentioned that.
They're pretty much done. So you would think, but we don't know this for a fact, but you think something new is gonna have to happen. Either they're gonna die or their character's got to have something happen that makes them out of the picture. So, if you're like a nerd and you like read and follow all this stuff so closely, you should kind of already know that. And that's one of the reasons why you're wondering who's going to die. Then you have other characters who haven't been main characters anyway, so they got to start doing something. As the DC people would say, Marvel never has any serious deaths, so they never have anything. It's always a joke, and nothing ever matters, as if they're happening in DC like that. Shoot, Superman died and was basically, you knew he was going to be alive by the movie ended.
Dirt.
And he came back in the next movie, so that's not.
They don't even acknowledge that. Okay.
I'm still trying to. That'll be one of my. That'll be one of my personal videos on the Marvel DC beef. I like both. Obviously, I'm Batman, but I grew up more of a Marvel fan anyway. And when it comes to these movies, I'm kind of a strong defender of the MCU versus DC, even though I want to see DC movies do well, I'll be watching Aquaman.
I remember who was the DC.
So I made a list of people who I thought were safe. I figured, and this is based on the fact you got characters who have just had their first movies, so it's kind of like using common sense. So basically, you got
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I don't see why he would die.
He's still in
He
high
just
school.
started.
They can't kill him.
They just started with his franchise. I actually said I thought Scarlet Witch would stay alive because she kind of just got into the Avengers just what 2 movies ago, and then Doctor Strange because he's only had one movie. Black Panther, he's only had one movie. Ant-Man's got one, and he's about to have another one.
He's already having another one. So
I figured all of the. At first, I was thinking the Guardians because they have already. What's the word? Confirmed, yeah, announced, confirmed that Guardians 3 is going to be in the works for, I think, 2020. And then Hulk, because, I just don't see how I don't see how you kill him, and he doesn't really have his own solo movies anyway, so in a way you would want to keep using him in movies where you can put him in movies with other characters. And, I'm just a Hulk mark, so, like, I mean, come on, how the heck is he going to die? I mean, in my opinion,
I don't think he's going to die.
You don't kill him. I mean,
he's going to go flying off somewhere in
so,
space again.
That's where I was, so what did I say? Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Hulk, the Guardians, well, Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot, Gamora, Ant-Man, Black Panther, and Wanda, Scarlet Witch. So, which means to me, I was thinking, like, it's going to be split between the new movies as far as everybody else dying. And, like, one of the things I came up with a while ago that I've heard more people say now, and I think now that people have had time to think about it, it's kind of almost guaranteeing that low-key, I'm just calling this right now.
Yeah.
Loki's dying in the first few minutes, and because you got, if you remember, Thanos, the little alien. I think we made another video where we talked about this. He basically threatened him if he didn't bring that Tesseract back in the first Avengers movie.
And like.
Oh, you know what? No, I didn't make a video. It was just I was talking to y'all about it because we went back and watched that movie.
I feel like.
So I mean, he's got to pay, and I mean, plus. They got to do something that will be impactful for people to be like, oh my gosh, they just killed da-da-da, make Thanos look big and bad. So I'm thinking Loki's going to go. Heimdall. People keep sleeping on, there's another thing. There's a lot of people who've been talking about how, you're not seeing Hawkeye and Ant-Man in any of the advertisements for Infinity War. Like, there are a lot of news stories, articles, people actually paying attention to that. Which I find funny. It's like, y'all didn't care about Hawkeye before. But it does kind of stand out. And, some people would have thought, well, he's going to be the first people to die because, him and Black Widow are just humans, blah, blah, blah. But, that never really crossed my mind. But, yeah, Heimdall, that's one. Like, how come nobody's bringing up the fact you don't even see Heimdall in no advertisements?
But then it's like,
and that's probably because he's going to die in the first few minutes. Because that ship that they were on at the end of Ragnarok, Thanos' ship comes right over it. I mean, he's got to kill basically all those people, probably, except for Thor and Hulk and, and Loki. But I think Loki's going too. So I think Hulk and Thor are the only people that are going to make it out of that alive, basically.
I really don't want to see that.
And then, what's his name? Mike. Wait, what's his name? Mike? The little dead floppy thing that Korg had? Because he called him, I don't know. No, it wasn't Mike. Anyway, that dude really will be dead this time. But Heimdall. And then there was a time where I had a theory that the Soul Stone was in Heimdall because he has orange eyes.
Yeah.
And I almost believe that they have some. If that doesn't happen in the movie, they were thinking that at one time. Because why would he have had orange eyes all this time?
He can't just have orange eyes.
And he's, how he can see people wherever they are. It's almost like that. No, but Marvel does things with a real purpose in mind. So I believe they had it in mind at one point to put Easter eggs, you know what I'm saying? To give you a hint early on that this dude, something was different about him having those orange eyeballs. And even in the little fantasy scene or whatever hallucination scene that Thor had in Age of Ultron, his eyes were white. And Thor made a comment. He said, your eyes, as if to say, like, why are your eyes white? And it was like, yeah, probably because he was seeing a future that the Soul Stone's going to be taken out of him, and then my eyes ain't going to be orange no more. But my point is, I don't even know if that's a true theory anymore. You know what I'm saying? I think Marvel changes their mind about things. So it just feels like they probably had that in mind at one point. So, I still think Heimdall's going to die because he hasn't been doing anything, which is too bad because Idris Elba's a good actor and I liked him in that role and they really underutilized him. So maybe they'll give him a chance to kill him and bring him back as another character. or something. I don't know. I pretty much feel like Drax is gonna die, so I kind of left him out of the other, because somebody from that crew's got to die. You know.
And it's obvious it's him because he's
To me, it's
he's got
him.
that whole
Yeah, he
Hellbent
has a
trying to kill
vendetta. Right.
Thanos
It would make
because he
sense
killed
for
his
him
family. So.
to like die valiantly, trying to avenge his family. And I mean, again, Dave Bautista is not like a guy you just have to keep around. I mean, he's got other things going on. He's not like an A-list actor. I felt like Rhodey might die. I actually thought Black Widow might die. Nick Fury, but I don't even think Nick Fury's in the freaking movie. Oh, I do have Hawkeye down. And then Loki. So I had Drax, Heimdall, Rhodey, Natasha, Fury, Hawkeye,
How
and
did I
Loki.
kill Rhodey?
Easy, because again,
So
it's
he
like I'm
replaced
trying
Iron
to
Man?
think of
He
secondary
replaces
characters.
Iron Man.
Yeah, but he was already like halfway paralyzed. He's not
Okay,
even,
but he was
he's
getting physical therapy.
He's debilitated.
Therapy? Okay,
Yeah.
then he's not gonna be fighting
So
in this movie, and then he gonna fight in the fourth movie, and then die in that one.
That's possible. But I just feel like, you have characters that are well, the reality is all this stuff, I'm just saying this is what I originally thought anyway, because a lot of this has changed. Oh, and then I had Pepper. I forgot about that. Pepper Potts. Another one people forget about. And you've seen her in some of the ads and commercials. But nobody's thinking about that. I mean, who's to say Tony has to die? Maybe she dies and it's just catastrophic to him that he just totally retires and goes and disappears.
Or it's just like, hey, I ain't got nothing to lose.
Right, or yeah, after that he don't have nothing to lose and then he dies because he's just, in a rage. You know what I'm trying to say? He don't even feel like he would almost sacrifice himself after that.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Yeah, after Pepper dies, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna die. Something traumatic has to happen to Tony, whether it's him dying or what will be the next best thing, his love, So then to me it was like that meant the people who might make it to Avengers 4 before they die. And again, this is just the assumption that everybody's just thinking people are supposed to die. And now people come back down to Earth. It's like, who says there has to be all this death and destruction? I mean, someone will, but it doesn't mean you have to just make a list of, oh, this person's going to die in this movie, and this person's going to die in this movie. So I was going a little overboard when I made this. So Avengers 4, I was saying it would be Tony, Cap.
Why is he left-handed? I'm sorry.
Vision, maybe Falcon, maybe Hulk, Nebula, and then Thor.
I was thinking Nebula.
And then that made me think Nebula actually would be almost more obvious to be in the first one.
Yeah.
In Infinity War, because she doesn't even have a good relationship with Thanos. Now, here's where I've tried to avoid all of the spoilers and stuff. But in all honesty, I looked at this list again with more thought, and I think it's almost like too easy to think Vision's gonna die, because they say he needs to die. You would think he's got to die if they're gonna take the Mind Stone out of his head. I don't know. I still think he probably will, because how else is he gonna or like you said, maybe
they do the dumb thing with the human form looking of him, which I was like,
and I kind of already am thinking I'm not gonna like that, but I'm gonna give it a chance because it just takes away from it. He's too cool looking the way he is. I don't want to see him turn. That's like when they did Shrek turn human in Shrek. It was a Shrek
that was
Forever After.
Weird, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was weird. So, stuff like that always kind of bothers me. It's like, let the dude be a freaking alien android. I don't want to see him in a human form. Anyway, and maybe that's just what happens. The stone gets taken away and he just loses. It doesn't mean he will die. Maybe he just changes into something else. But then it's like,
that doesn't even make sense because he didn't even have a human form to begin with. He was literally a robot. So
No. He was flesh.
Oh.
When he was in that little tomb, because he's partial. They were grafting human cells on this thing before Ultron ever got a hold of it. That's why Ultron wanted it, because he knew it was partially human.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, that was Ultron wanted to put himself in a body that had some human qualities to it. So anyway, my point is, I'm not so sure about Vision. I mean, I still kind of feel like he will, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, one person I had to think about though, instead of thinking Nebula, I was like, well, what if it's actually Gamora? And like I said, what if it's even Gamora instead of Drax? Because I'm still saying somebody from that original crew has to die. And I was thinking, you know, she, um, being Thanos' daughter, has a close connection. So it's like, why think that the daughter who that he didn't really care for, maybe it's the one he does care for. I don't know. And then even the scene with them showing, uh, which I mean, this is when like the trailer started to just get so epic, where it's just like started to make my guts. That the first trailer we saw where they showed with him taking her taking her little baby hand.
I was just like,
I'm just
her
like,
hand was huge.
at this point, I'm just like,
to say
this
that.
movie is gonna be, that lets you know this is gonna be such depth.
Can we actually buy tissue?
To the, yeah, I mean, that, like, it's gonna be a deep story. So that made me think, oh dang, well, maybe that's a hint at Gamora like having a bigger part in this movie than we think. Oh, and there's another thing.
Also, the whole part where she was telling the story and she was talking about
she
the
knows
snap, and I was like,
she knows more about what he is.
Too much. She knows too much of his plans.
Yeah, it's like I said, it almost like I had to think about it. It'd be too easy for it to be Nebula because Nebula hates him. It's like, what about the one who actually has more of a complex relationship with him because he actually seemed to love her in some strange kind of way. He favored her over Nebula. You can see that in the first Guardian.
Obviously.
Yeah, but he doesn't. It doesn't seem like he really has the right kind of love for any of them. Anyway, but one thing I did find out in doing my studies and researching, they've been saying that the two characters that are in this movie the most is Thanos and Thor, which was kind of interesting to me. I wouldn't have expected that because you don't see a lot of Thor in the previews, which again is smart marketing by Marvel. They're always like throwing you curveballs, basically. I mean, you only really see Thor like twice, and in all of the previews they have, he's got the one scene where he's with them, and then he's like, "Who are you guys?" And then he has the one scene where he was like grabbing some things, trying. Hey, look at my bicep. Where he's trying to pull something together. He's trying to do the Captain America pulling the helicopter move. And then there's the newest one was where he did something where like he put his hand up or something, and lightning hit him, and then like Rocket was looking at him like, "Whoa."
Mm.
Which that might even be Rocket looking at him. You know how they splice scenes together. But so that's really the only 3 times you see Thor. And it's funny because they would make you think, wow, Thor must not have a lot in this because you keep seeing Cap, keep seeing Spider-Man, you keep seeing Iron Man, in the most of the previews. But apparently, yeah, he has the most screen time of all the Avengers, which goes into a whole other category, which I've said to you before that I want to make a video about. My MVPs and my favorite Avengers. We are gonna, before this is over, we're both gonna name our favorite Avengers.
I don't have one. I can't do that.
Oh,
that's
okay.
impossible.
Please, I think I know what your favorite one is.
All jokes aside, I don't have one.
It's not Stark no more.
No, that was like okay.
And then you said your new crush, your new super husband was Black Panther, so he hasn't, which made me think that that used to be Stark. You basically made it sound like he took Stark's place in your heart.
No,
so
forever no.
So can you get in the camera? Hi.
I'm not even doing nothing.
Oh, so but yeah, it kind of makes sense to me because I have always felt like Thor, especially again watching Age of Ultron again. When we did a video, I guess we never did a video for Avengers. The point is, he was my MVP of the Avengers movie. Like how everybody said Hulk stole the show. Thor was the MVP because it seemed like we had a video about this.
Because I was talking about the same thing.
I was talking about how he was the only one. He literally had to fight he had a fight scene with every one of the Avengers in that first movie, which I just thought was dope. And people don't pay attention to that. But it's like, this dude, he's been like kind of the difference maker. Then watching Age of Ultron again, I forgot. It's like we forget about that scene that was so dope when the creation of Vision. That's one of the reasons why I can never say that movie is not good. Like the way that scene was done was so intense, and I rewound it like 6 times. When he flew into the scene out of nowhere, and he just jumped on top of the little casket thing and then hit it. I mean, he brought Vision to life. You know what I mean? He was the one that had to go find. So he actually does a lot of MVP type stuff in these movies, so it's gonna be kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to hearing that he's gonna have a lot of screen time. I look forward to that, and I love Thor Ragnarok, even though people claim he was goofy and he was dumb and silly.
Ooh, I didn't know there was a possible 7th one. Sorry.
I didn't agree with
I'm
any of
geeky.
that. I just felt like it was another step in his character, and he was, you know. Anyway, we're not here to review Thor Ragnarok because we already have a
Did you
video up.
see that? Did you know?
What? There's a seventh gem. Oh. Ego. Was that Ego the Living Planet?
Right.
Anyway, so
Or Rhythm, which is a key.
well, you have a rhythm one. Dang. Black Panthers had that. That's racist. So I was so anyway. My point is, I think Gamora is not as safe as I originally thought she was. That's basically what I'm
I
saying.
felt like she's safe till the fourth movie.
Yeah. And then
very end of third, very beginning.
And then that's
of
the other thing
movie.
is like then as time has gone on, you get more stories, and there's just still a little bit about Avengers 4 where they're saying that the movie is going to be kind of a different storyline. And then you've seen, if you follow the internet again, they got pictures where they're obviously shooting scenes that are supposed to be flashbacks. Like they shot scenes where Captain America's wearing the suit he wore in the Avengers movie, and they styled his hair the same way again. And what else did they show? Oh, the scene they reshot the scene when Thor and Loki, when he first took him back to Asgard, when he put the little thing in, and they did the little thing that zoomed out. Yeah, opposite directions, right? Yeah. So they reshot that. So apparently, in other words, Avengers 4 is going to deal with time travel.
To do
It is. See,
that's weird.
Avengers 4 deals with time travel. So it's like almost like, well, maybe nobody's going to die in Avengers 4. So again, it's just weird. Because it's not what you thought, what I would have thought, or what people were thinking. Oh, it's going to be two movies. One people going to die in one movie, other people going to die in the other one, and then we're going to have to just start over. I just think we don't know. We really don't. And that's what's so freaking awesome. We don't know. I mean, we don't know. I mean, we don't know. We might walk out of this movie
because they don't give me enough
freaking heartbroken. Because we like, wait, y'all didn't say you were going to do this. You know, we might be mad. I mean, heck, Hulk might die, and I'll probably be freaking mad. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I will quickly. We'll talk about that too. Like, what could happen in this movie that would piss you off? But so
everybody dies. It's just everybody dies in a second. No, I mean like they wouldn't show any. Like I mean everybody.
I mean, really,
died.
the only thing that would really just make me say, "Come on, y'all," is if Hulk dies, because I just can't see that. You know, it's like, come on. Unless he dies as Banner or something, you know what I'm saying? But
nope. Everybody dying in one movie would make me mad. Because then I'd be like, "What the heck was your fourth movie about? What was even the point?"
Well, yeah.
Unless you're gonna do some corny backstory tracking crap.
Well, again, I'm saying something that might happen, that will happen, that could happen, that will make you mad, that is possible to happen. I don't think everybody dying is possible, because they do have to carry somebody into the fourth one, you know what I mean?
Killing Black Panther's sister. I'm kidding.
Oh, well, I don't even think that's possible.
I know. I don't know.
So, you really don't have anything.
From Betty Boop.
So, yeah, so... Since we already went over the death thing, but yeah,
that is terrifying. I'm sorry.
No, and here's another thing. You know, I thought about this. Like I said, these everything I just said. You know, these are thoughts I had about a week ago. Now, in the last 2 days, trying to, I'm calling myself avoiding spoilers, but the movie's been premiered, and I don't know who's seeing it.
I will kick you.
Well, I guess it came out in overseas or something already. So when you're on the internet, yeah. But I thought that was why they moved it up, so it'd be everywhere in the exact same day. But I guess some. Oh no, you know what it is? What it is it's. In other words, in some part of the world, you know what I'm saying, it was already 7:00 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier today, people overseas were seeing it, just like people here will see.